And what's up, you guys? It's always funny getting an intro down. Um, cheers. It is Sunday afternoon. Cheers. I have a Voodoo Ranger here, Juice Force IPA. I think I've seen those little commercials on Instagram and the reels before, but I did get it at Aldi, and also have a Lima Versa Aldi beer. Awesome. And today's topic is gonna be a little different. I'm not really gonna play anything for you guys, but I did have something in my mind I wanted to go over. Um, Music formats, vinyl records. Should you buy vinyl records? Who knows? Should you buy vinyl records? I don't know. Does your pocket allow you to buy vinyl records? Because they're getting pretty pricey these days. I mean, new releases are anywhere from like 20 to 30 bucks on average. It's not bad. Not bad, New Belgium. A little bit too juicy for my taste, but not bad overall. Uh, yeah. So what were we saying? Vinyl records, they're getting expensive at 20 to 30 bucks. Multiple pressings of the same album. Collectors type series. Collectors type series. Big artists are known for that. um, so it really comes down to preference. Are vinyl records worth it? I mean, I still have vinyl records, but I don't have vinyl records as much as you would think I have vinyl records. At one point, I did have a lot of vinyl records, but it turns out you can't listen to them all the time. You know, and you're never gonna go through all of them. There's just so much music out there that it's hard to collect everything in a big, heavy format. Um, we live in a digital age, an almost instant age, so uh, there's a certain type of sound you get with vinyl, but its uses in daily life are becoming very, very slim. It's no one really has time most of the time to stop and put a vinyl on and just let it play through it. You have to kind of set apart a day, and you're saying, "Hey, I'm gonna clean a day. I'm gonna put on a vinyl record and let it play through." But for the most part, in the instant world, I think we're all just used to using Spotify, um, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Spotify even has a mode where you can go lossless. And if you really want to be picky about your audio, go lossless and listen to mono records on Spotify. And that's basically as great as audio formatting you can get. Um, if you didn't know, all you have to do is go into your settings on Spotify and turn on lossless. But I think it's kind of just a toss up. For me, I like the classic albums on vinyl records. You know, I still have the Electric Ladyland, Cream, Disraeli Gears, U-Roy, heavy, deep cut reggae, Virgin Galore, Bob Marley and the Wailers, the standards. So I'm a fan of vinyl records, but it's not for everything. You're never gonna get them all, so you should never go in with the mentality of, hey, I'm gonna get every single vinyl record, because is it really gonna work out? No, you're gonna run out of money sooner or later. I guarantee it. And there's so many vinyl records that, um, even saying, oh, 100 vinyl records is a big collection, and that's pretty expensive once you start buying them one by one. But you're it's far and few that you're gonna get to listen to them all the time. It has to be something that you really want. I would say think about it that way. Think about an artist that you really like and would like to support. You know, buy their vinyl record. If they're an independent artist, even more. You know, buy their vinyl record or buy their CD. It depends on the music as well. I like to have my heavier music on CDs. For me, I think CD is the best heavy music quality format. Got Nine Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine, Typo Negative, Dead Again, My Bloody Valentine, Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, Corn. Oh, I have a lot more. They're right behind the camera there. but I have stacks of CDs in the heavy music genre just because, to me, sonically, heavy music sounds better on CDs. It I think it has to do with the era that the music was recorded in. A lot of these albums were recorded more in the late 80s, early 90s, so which is the time that the CD was becoming the popular format for music. Tape was still king. I have some cassettes, but I'm not a big cassette person. If I said I was, I would be lying. I do have some cassettes though, but I don't have many cassettes. I really do prefer CDs for heavy music, vinyls for old cuts, things that you mostly wouldn't find on Spotify, old reggae songs. I have a lot of old reggae music on vinyl, so that's always cool. All right, so that's always cool, and it really becomes a preference, you know. For the most part, like here, let's finish this beer. It really becomes a preference on what you feel like you're gonna have time to use. You know, maybe you have time to listen to a lot of vinyl records, or maybe you're in a position where you get to have a lot of vinyl records because it's part of like you have some job or something like that with vinyl records. That's cool too. That's awesome. Nothing wrong about that. In fact, we all wish we could probably have more vinyl records if you had enough space, enough time, enough money. You know, vinyl records seem awesome, but it doesn't and it shouldn't be the end all be all of music formatting. You shouldn't think about it that way. I would say use the format that if you're an artist creating, if you're an artist putting out new music, use a format where you would expect your audience to support you at. If it's Spotify, YouTube, I know you're most likely not gonna make much money uploading music onto streaming platforms, but in the end, it shouldn't be about the music. Um, I mean, it shouldn't be about the money. It should be about the music, right? And and I don't think any artist makes money uploading music these days. It's far and few unless you're assigned, you have a recording deal. But it's far and few that artists see money from streaming that's life changing. Most artists see money from things like sponsorship, brand deals, YouTube channels if they have them. Um, you really have to take an individualistic point to become a successful artist these days because there is no one format, one platform. There's so much artists, so much art, so much music, so many platforms, so many different niches that it's very hard for somebody to become a pop star unless you have industry backing. And that's just the truth. So, should you buy vinyl records at the end of the day? Yeah, if it makes you happy and if you're helping support the artists that you like and if you have the means to, awesome, you know, buy the vinyl records. There's nothing wrong with it. No one should make you feel bad about buying the vinyl records. Um, it's a great way to keep music and preserve music for the future. I mean, look at it this way. I still have vinyl records that were pressed in the '60s and '70s, and we're 50 years plus removed from those that era. So, uh, it works. As a music preserver, it works, and we might not always have streaming. You know, if we ever get to the point to where the internet isn't so easily available, so readily available, and streaming services somehow disappear overnight, vinyl records, CDs, cassettes is a good way to preserve music, and that's awesome. because that's what the future needs is good music preserved for a long time. So it's good to be on streaming. It's good to be on all the platforms. It's also good to make a CD every once in a while and make a vinyl record, you know? Let the future hear your music if streaming's ever gone, or if anything happens, there's ways to preserve music. That's awesome, and that's what everyone's goal should be when creating music, is finding a way to preserve music. I mean, modern technology has made it so easy for people to record in their homes. I'm doing this in my home. I have recording equipment right behind me. So is it hard? No, not really. If you have the means and you can put together the pieces, it's pretty easy to record music these days. With direct input boxes, um, audio inputs, audio interfaces. I mean, uh, things like uh, Focusrite, the Scarlett. Everyone has a Scarlett. Um, Plugins make it so easy to change any sound that you would want to. We're kind of living in the best times for music creation if you have ideas. All the tools are available at your fingertips. So that's awesome. And but it's you can't press a vinyl record as easily as you could back in the day though. That's getting harder and harder because it's becoming to where the major labels are once again pressing a lot of vinyl records, so the independent artist doesn't get a chance to do that. Um, it's awesome that major labels are pressing vinyls again. That's awesome because it shows a resurgence in music formatting that was thought of almost dead at one point, to the point to where most of the factories in the U.S. Dissolved and sold all their machinery to different companies in different countries, and maybe just broke in general, left it uh, to sit and break down for the future. So vinyl records is awesome. CDs are awesome. Independent artists and music is awesome. So is major label music is awesome. What trying to get to the point is music is awesome, and we live at the point to where every format's available, and it's gonna be a rare thing if somebody discovers another format for music. Super rare. What is left? What is left for music formatting? I mean, certain artists have tried to take advantage of hype culture and put out um, small like digitizer MP3 players, things like that for music formatting, but it's not something that's mass appealing and readily available for other artists to use. So it can't live on, and it's not gonna live on for more musicians and more artists. So what is the next future? The next step in music formatting, with lossless and MP3 and FLAC and CD and vinyl records and cassettes. Um, it's not like we're having a resurgence in 8 tracks. Nobody's buying 8 tracks all over again, No one's asking for 8 tracks to be reprinted. So uh, I would say the future of music is currently almost in the past with vinyl record sales, because that's where a lot of these like big names like the Taylor Swift's, she makes hundreds of different versions of her current albums on vinyl, multiple versions of the same album, and it's to create album sales, because when you create a piece of formatted music like that your fans consider collectible in some sense, then they want to get them all, which it somehow artificially pads her numbers for album sales, for Billboard charts, because of how many different versions she has. So it seems like that the current format for music is in the past with vinyl records because that's where they're making most of their money on for sales. You don't make much money from selling a CD these days because there's not enough CDs sold. And you don't make much money from streaming unless you're in the millions and millions of streams. Um, so it seems like music goes in a big cycle, and we went from vinyl records all the way from the 20s and 30s, 40s to vinyl records again in the 20s. Who would have thought 100 years later we're still producing vinyl records? I'm not too sure when the first vinyl record was produced or when it wasn't, but I know that if they were still around to see how far it's gone and how it's come back around, they would be amazed. Whoever invented vinyl records, maybe that's for our next episode. Maybe we deep dive into who created vinyl records and why were they created. If you would like that, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you would like to see in the comments. I know we're almost done with our time here because I know last video it cut off with the last 10 minutes of audio. And I just put a picture because I didn't have anyone checking on the camera, and now I just set a self timer. If you see me look down, that's the self timer down there. So um, self timer says I have 3 minutes left, but I'll say try try to get the music format that you would think means the most to you throughout your life. If the music itself means something to you, if the music is disposable, then that's okay. If you don't really want to get another format, there's no shame in that. If you want to just listen to it on Spotify because it's not really that important, that's cool. But if you do want to support it, if you do want to keep it, if it is important to you, I'm sure that there's a format out there that you'll like and that you'll want to have for a long time. And that's also important. So, um, cheers on a Sunday. Uh, buy vinyl records, buy CDs, support independent artists, support local music scenes, and support small time breweries. And there's no sponsors for this show or anything because it's just me, one guy here doing it in my garage. So you might even hear my dog barking in the background every once in a while. But um, if you have anything you want to share music wise, if you think you have production notes you can share, let me know. I'm all ears, and I'm here to listen and connect with you. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you share with your friends. And this is Johnny, and cheers on a Sunday. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.